WWE Diva Paige and WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan. With this Tough Enough show, this huge show that's coming up, what will you be looking for in the next WWE Superstar and WWE Diva to win this competition?
Somebody just like her. Somebody who loves the business. Somebody who will work 24 hours a day and make it their #1 priority. I don't care who it is. If they've got that kind of drive, they get a good shot. So we're looking for one guy and one girl that has that it factor.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I don't even need to add to that.
That was pretty good. Pretty good.
Nailed it.
We'll get a whisper like him.
Yeah, I was just like.
What do you see? What kind of group? What do you see? What kind of group of the 13 finalists that were chosen? Have you guys got to look at them yet, or no? It's going to be fresh when you guys start the show.
I've seen pictures. That's literally all I've seen, but we haven't met them in person yet, at all. But like Hulk said earlier, we're going to keep the mystique about it there.
Actually, I had them all in my room last night for a party.
Oh,
no,
is he already the favorite judge?
No. I saw a picture too. Actually, a couple pictures. They look like they're all pretty intense. They all look like they're in good shape, you know. And this is going to be interesting to see who ends up rising to the top this time.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk, how has it changed in the type of WWE superstar in the 80s compared to the sports entertainers of today? If it's changed.
No, that's the one thing that hasn't changed. We're still looking for that person, that guy and that girl that have the it factor, that can sell tickets, that can capture, you know, people and reel them in to make sure they watch every week and get, you know, completely addicted to the WWE universe. You know, we're looking for that person that can sell tickets, put rear ends in seats, and they got to have the charisma, you know, the it factor. So it really hasn't changed. This is just a more efficient way to find that person or those two people.
In that regard, what do you guys think of the concept of WWE Tough Enough?
I think it's awesome.
Does it work?
Yeah. Well, I haven't done Tough Enough before. Like.
Well, I mean, you've been to the school.
I've been to the school.
Hell and back again.
Yeah, but it does work, and it is very, very, very hard. Once you get to the Performance Center, you do have everything you need there, like everything you could possibly want. But it's also an extremely tough environment to be in. Like, you have no idea until you finally get there, but I promise you, it works. It does work.
What do you both want to, I know both are judges, what do you both want to offer to the show?
Well, for me,
I think just him being on the show is like enough. You know?
Stop. Thank you.
He's like, but still, here we go.
No, for me, I just really want to be honest about this because, you know, this is our chance to pick that next guy and that next girl that could be the leader, that could actually grab that brass ring and become the next John Cena or Stone Cold or Triple H, you know, could be the next Paige. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's a situation that if we make the right choice, this could directly affect the direction of this business for the next 10 years. If we pick the right two people as leaders, game on.
Can you imagine if we pick two wrong people?
Oh, God.
Oh,
we're done.
Hell to pay.
There'll be no sequel with you guys. Yes, is that what'll happen if you don't?
Oh,
we have our own sitcom.
Yeah, we should. We need a sitcom ASAP.
Tough Enough is the big break. What was it like for each of you getting your big breaks?
Well, my big break came in the form of a broken leg the very first day I got in the ring. They had a very barbaric mindset about 35 years ago, and so anybody that wanted to be a wrestler, you would walk in and there were like 8 men in a dressing room, so you had to take somebody's job. There were no openings for extra people. So when they saw me coming along, saying I want to wrestle and I want to train, they broke my leg, hoping they would never see me again. And it just kind of worked the opposite way with me. After I got better, I just couldn't stay away, and then I kept wrestling and quitting because I couldn't make any money. And you know, you'd wrestle for $20 or $15 or whatever back in the day and drive 200-300 miles. And then my really big break came when I went back to work on the docks in Tampa loading ships. And Jack and Jerry Briscoe called me up and said, "Hey, this guy Vince McMahon Sr. wants to talk to you." I said, "I don't want to talk to him, I quit." He said, "No, this is perfect for you. This is where all the big guys go, New York." So that was my big break, was the call from Vince McMahon Sr.
Well, I was wrestling previously, so I was like getting my butt kicked every night. But like, luckily for me, WWE does 2 tours of Europe a year, which is, you know, they tour around England and France and Germany and everywhere like that. So they do that twice, and they do tryouts on there. So they call extras to come in the hopes of like, it was kind of like our Tough Enough, but not quite, but still. But yeah, we got to do that. The first time I came, I was 18. I had a singles match with a girl I never met before, and I busted her lip. And I tried to be like every other diva, so I got a tan. I lined my hair, I took out my piercings, I wore color. Like, I tried to be what I thought WWE wanted, and it didn't work out too well for me. I feel like they saw right through me. They're like, you're not being yourself, you're not comfortable, you're not confident enough to be here, you know. So they but I didn't let that get to me, and then a few months later they came over again in April, and I had another tryout, but this time I was like, no, I'm gonna be myself, you know. So I scrubbed the tan off, I dyed my hair back to black again, put my piercings back in, and nailed it. But I was the only girl trying out that day, and there was like 15 other guys, one being my brother, and we had a 2.5-hour match in the ring where we tagged in and out. But Dustin, Goldust and Jamie Noble were the one who was running it, and they kept on saying like, tag yourself back in. So I was like, okay, getting heat from all the boys I tried to try out. But I was in there 3/4 of the time with my brother, getting my butt beat the whole time. But that was my big break when I finally got signed to the WWE. And then second one was when actually NXT first started Full Sail, when you know, the WWE Network started, and we were the first pay-per-view to be on the network live. So that was another big break for me.
What was your third big break?
Well, come on.
Within the belt.
Yeah, well, we were going to do all the big breaks.
What's the fourth big break? Standing here with me.
Doing the Tough Enough show.
Doing Tough
Doing
Enough.
the Tough Enough show.
Total Divas.
Total Divas.
Yeah.
Man, you're on fire. Come here, let me get the rub.
Yeah. Well, I stole it from you.
That was awesome.
The Performance Center is just state of the art. It's unbelievable. What is it like comparing the Performance Center to wherever you all trained when you first were training back in the day? For you, and then recently in England.
Well, I used to train at 2 places. In Tampa, there was a very famous building called the Sportatorium on Albany, where they used to film TV. I used to train in there with a guy named Gordon Nelson and a guy named Hiro Matsuda. Another guy named Bob Roop. And it was pretty intense. You know, there wasn't any hitting the ropes or any of this stuff going on. It was all the wrestling and takedowns and the stretching and the hooks and submissions, so that was fun. And then when I wasn't there, I was at Matsuda's. Hiro Matsuda had a clothing business where he made different kind of clothes and stuff, and he'd send it to Japan. And I was kind of like the gopher over there, and I would train and do thousands of squats in front of him and just whatever he wanted me to do. So those were the places I trained at. It was nothing like this beautiful facility.
My dad, I'm lucky enough, my dad had his own training school, but the thing is, we didn't have a lot of money, so we would take bumps on like the little gym mats on the floor, or we actually had a boxing ring that we used to do wrestling moves in. So at least they have a ring that's meant for flyers at the Performance Center. Like it's called I think it's called the Jelly Baby ring, where they have just a bunch of mats in there, and it's so comfortable and nice. I'm like, wow, this is like a bed, completely different to how I trained then. But yeah, it's a lot easier, but it's still tough because you have to put in a lot of hours. They're not just getting it easy, you know.
2 more questions for you. Hulk, have you watched Total Divas?
Have I watched Total? I record the show, brother.
No!
I record Total Divas, you know, and I actually got really so weird about it, you know, and I went over to Natty and I go, you know, girl, what? I just hope that you and Tyson just quit arguing, you know, and just get along. I mean, it's so hard. And she looked at me and she goes, you know what, don't worry, Hulk, we'll be okay. I was like, okay. So I didn't know if I misspoke or she thought I was just crazy. But I get really into the show. Yeah, I watch it. I'm hooked.
And last question for you. One of our Florida legends and wrestling legends, Dusty Rhodes, of course, passed away. I just wondered what you guys thought of Dusty and what he meant to you guys in your careers.
I started with Dusty back in FCW in Tampa, which is over 3 years ago. But like I said to people previously, like he kept me sane when I was in Insanity. Like he was always there for me. And I remember we actually he was so tough. He was tough on me, but I loved it, and we were really close. He called me his like little princess and stuff, you know. But he, like his son Cody would say, like he loved like the misfits. He loved like the broken toys. He wanted to fix them, shine them up, and make them stars, you know. And he put so much faith in people. He was so lovely. And one day he was so tough on me, and I was having such a bad day. I called him. He goes, I asked for chicken dinner. You give me chicken. And I was like, Dusty, you mother, and run away from him. And he come running up the stairs after me. He's like, Princess, I'm so sorry. I just want you to do good. And he hugged me. We sat on the stairs for like 20 minutes, like with him,
That's
like,
cool.
just talking. He was an amazing, amazing spirit.
No, I grew up with him, living in Tampa, and would scan past the wrestling. It was on a local station, Channel 8 or 10. I can't remember what it was on when I was a kid. And then one day when I was flipping through the channels, there he was. The road, the American dream, baby. And I said, what? And I listened to his interview, and then I watched him again the next week. By the second week I was hooked, and I begged my dad to take me down. And when I saw him perform, and every punch, every elbow sounded like cannons going off, it really hooked me. So he's the reason I even got interested in this business. And you know, he helped when I first started. He was in Florida, and he's actually the first one that beat the crap out of me when I went down to the ring. And so we had a long history. We wrestled in Japan, went on many tours together in Japan, and sat next to each other on the bus and drank a few beers together here and there. But yeah, he was a great guy, and really miss him. I was actually looking forward to being with him here at Tough Enough, because he would have been here helping all of us, believe me. He would not have let this go by without guiding us in the right direction. So he's with us, but we miss him physically.
Thank you both, and we'll all be watching Tough Enough.
Thank you.
You.